Well, hello, and welcome everybody to ZBrush Live. This is R.I. Kermaco, and this is Kermaco. I keep forgetting the name of the stream. Just 1 second here. Sorry about this. Just need to figure something out. But while I'm doing that, if you guys can hear me and see me okay, please let me know in the chat so I can continue on. This is, it's called Kermaco Designworks, Hard Surface and Character Design. And we're working on a character. We've been working on characters, and we're getting close to finishing this one up. Okay. So we got a studio coming in. Hello back on YouTube. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. If you could okay, good. So we're good on YouTube. If somebody on Twitch can also chime in, that would be awesome. So please like and subscribe. The likes definitely help me, help us. And if you like the stream, you can subscribe and you can watch me as well as many other amazing streamers. Show you amazing stuff that they do in ZBrush in all sorts of different genres and industries. So yeah, and then please leave a comment. Okay, so we've got a Great Tech BFL from Twitch saying audio is great. Good, so we can get going. And if you have questions, you can ask them during the stream. And if you are watching this after the fact, you can leave your questions in the comments, and then hopefully somebody will get back to you. Okay, so we are continuing to work on this guy, and I did talk to the developer and found out a lot more about ZTexturator, the plugin that I'm using, and apparently I've been doing something kind of wrong. And so I have to do a few things over again, but I did some of it already, and some of it I will have to do over again just because I have to. And the thing that I didn't realize is that if you just save this normal as a normal ZBrush project, it doesn't really save the work that you did on the objects that you worked on. So, for example, if I look at the, and I'll solo this out. If I look at this helmet, I'm going to change the lighting a bit here. Let's lift this up a bit to 2.85. What is going on? Hello. Did I do something wrong? All right, well, I guess I will. This is a good example. What I will do here is you have to actually save the ZTexturator project as its own project. So here I'm just going to go ahead and load it. And there it is. And it'll take a few minutes. So if you want to save what you're working on, you can't just exit out of this ZTexturator and then have the things maintain. If you want to actually be able to save all your settings and continue to work on it, you actually have to do the savings here in ZTexturator. And it is a little bit counterintuitive. Right, this will come back in a second here. Okay, done. All right, and so here under project, there's load scene, save scene, import preset, and export preset. These are things that you could do here. And if you hadn't looked here, you would kind of be confused. And it has its own quick save as well, right? So, you know, those are the two kind of really important things that I learned about. So that's there. And yeah, so let's kind of bring everything back here. All right, and I need to do a few things here with the document real quick. So let's just, would you like to save changes? No, to the document, there it is. All right, and then I want to do one more thing here so that it looks better for you guys. And I don't know if this is going to be necessary here, but I'll do it anyway. Document and a half. And that's just to kind of get a more anti-aliased version of the guy. Okay, so here, if I look at some of the things that I've textured, and you know, a good example is this thing right here. And I don't know if you can see it really well, but this is kind of a rubber piece that is on his chest. And you can kind of see the lighting on it, right? So you can see that there's a specular, and then there is definitely color, and there's darker colors in the crevices and whatnot. So this is one of the custom rubber things that I made here that basically goes into that. And we're going to just be using these to basically texture the rest of the guy. So I also made a new plastic that looks a little bit more like the reference that I have. So you can kind of see here that there is a little bit of kind of erosion here on the side, and maybe I'll add a little bit more erosion, not too much. Again, I don't like over weathered stuff. It's always better to be subtle, but I think we can use maybe some more weathering here on the edge. So what I'm going to do here is just go to the, you know, just the standard brush and turn off Z-add and turn on RGB. Also, the user interface, I guess you have to use the user interface that is kind of his, or the one that comes with the plugin. So I can't use my custom shortcuts or whatever, but it's fine. I mean, I teach ZBrush, so I kind of know all these things. So the way to do it is you just basically pick the color, right? So I'm picking this color right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a spray. And I don't want multiple colors here, so I'm going to change the colors down to 1 under the stroke. And the flow is fine. And also, I'm going to pick a different alpha, maybe this one right here. Right, and then just paint along here. And you can see that I'm not just painting a color, but I'm also, let me make sure this is on its highest subdivision level. I think it is. Subdivision level 4, yeah. So here you can see that I'm basically just kind of, it's doing the border too. So it's doing the entire erosion of that. That's good. And then maybe there's a little bit more erosion here on the corner. So I'm adding that. You know, And then if I want to kind of fight it back, and I'll just change this one to this, and if I use Alt, it will alternate back, so I can kind of come back to it. So I'm basically poly painting, but I'm poly painting with a material kind of properties that has multiple levels, right? So this is using the quad shader capability of ZBrush, and yeah, it's doing that work. And here there's some scratches, and I kind of want to accentuate them, so I'm kind of going to accentuate those scratches a bit, like maybe there was a little kind of bump there. Right, so I think that's looking good. I'm going to do a little bit more irregularity to these kind of perfectly round things that it did. So maybe this kind of goes over to here. Maybe he put it down somewhere or whatnot. And there are some on the back too here. So let's kind of, again, break up that kind of perfect roundish thing. And maybe this kind of erodes downwards a bit. And there's another one that meets it over here. And again, if it's too much, I can always kind of fight it back. All right. Right, so I don't know about where you are, but it's a really hot day here in LA. And also, it's been a crazy time in the US. If you are not from the US, we are having some very strange things happen. All right, so now we're done with this one. Let's move down to this part right here. And this is a little bit dark, but it's fine because, you know, I'm going to render it in KeyShot later, so it'll be fine there. So here I'm just adding a little bit more. And for this one, I'm going to bring back everything else because, you know, I did all that work over there, but nobody's going to see that. So it doesn't really matter. Maybe I need to do a little bit of work over here. This is a good place that could maybe see some erosion. Like so. Maybe the corners over here a little bit like that. Again, it's super dark, so it's kind of hard to see some of these things that I'm doing, but you'll see them later on when I do them on other parts of the model. Right, so here I'm just kind of manually adding some weathering. And of course, I mean, it did do the weathering itself, but I'm just doing kind of adding my own just to add a little bit more to it. And maybe here, you know, where this is meeting the helmet, maybe there's a little bit of kind of scratching and whatnot. And I've got mirroring on here. I should probably turn it off, but it's fine. All right, I'm going to do that. And again, my hotkey won't work for that, so I actually have to go to Transform and activate Symmetry, turn that off. The hotkeys keep, but the user interface stuff does not. So here, maybe there's a little bit of erosion here, and a little bit of it here on this part right there. Okay. All this painting is kind of really much better if you're using a pen display. It helps. And I'm just going to go around the borders of these things just because that's kind of where there'll be more kind of wear and tear. Maybe a little bit here, like that. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, let's move on to the next part here. So this one, I don't really care about it. It's going to be just a material that I apply in KeyShot, so that's not a big deal. Same with these guys. Okay, so now we're moving on to the face. All right, so the face, I actually did weather it, but I'm going to do it over just, well, let me ask you this. Is the, you know, let's see, buffering, is it not coming across okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is everything okay with the video and the audio? I'll wait a couple of seconds to see if you guys have some feedback on that. All right, so on this skull part here, which I don't know if I need the back part of this. I'll just leave it for now, but it's a lot of geometry. But if I delete it now, I'll have to re-UV and everything. So I'll just leave it. How many polygons is this thing? Ooh, about 5 million polys. I guess it's fine. All right, so I'm going to do this over again, right? So let's say I don't like what's there. Actually, let me duplicate it because the next one might not be as good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use flesh. And ZTexturator comes with a bunch of different fleshes. So I'm going to do this burned one. That's what I did before. What's this one? Hulk skin, human skin, skin bumps, and skin scales, skin rough. I'll just do the same one, burn skin, okay? And I'm going to get that, so that means I'm going to use that. And I figured out what keep scale and G scale means, and that is if you did some work in the mixer, which we'll see in a little bit, then it will basically keep those things. But I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to replace. And this is kind of a rounded object, so we'll go with rounded. And this will take a few minutes. And it will go ahead and texture it automatically for me. So this is kind of what it came up with. Oh, no, it's still doing it. So I'm going to just let it do its thing. Right. And even though this seems like it's taking a while, it's really not, because it's doing a lot of different things that would take a long time if you did it manually. So it's still a lot faster. Another thing that I noticed is that it's a good idea to save this as frequently as you want. So I can kind of see a UV seam over here that I probably will have to paint over. Right, still doing its thing. And okay, here we go. You can kind of see what it's doing up here. Okay, so this is what it came up with, which actually is not bad just to start out with. But I don't know if I kind of like the skin color, because this is bone, it's not really skin. So the first thing I want to do is change the color, and the way you do that is you go into painting, and all right, so it's got a texture map on this, it seems like, or is this poly paint? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I can do is I can just click on this adjust button, and basically that's the thing that ZBrush, it's the same thing as the ZBrush interface. So I'm going to choose a map size. I'm going to choose 4K for this. And so I get this. And you should be familiar with this because it's the same thing that is in ZBrush to recolor. And the first thing I want to do here is I want to play around with the hue. Okay, so I'm, it would be nice if this hue actually had the colors, but you can actually see it, so that's good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to take down the saturation a bit. Okay, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's pretty quick. Okay, so that's a little bit duller. And then I don't know if I like this red here, so I'm going to do, again, adjust the paint, 4K again. All right, and then I'm just going to pick this color, the reddish color here, and I'm going to maybe bring down its RGB intensity. I think this is doing the other. I think I need to switch the, I need to mask that part. And let's see if this does what I want it to do. Nope. All right. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Just want to pick one of this red part right here. And I think that might have done it. Okay, and it's on RGB intensity. Yeah, something more grayish like that. That's good. And then let's click OK. And let's see what that does. Yeah, see that kind of brings it more, the reddish part's not red. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to do some manual painting on here. And let's make sure that symmetry is off. It is. And let's choose a bigger brush size. Choose, again, same thing. Let's pick this kind of background color, and let's pick this kind of darker color that's in the crevices. Let's find one here, like maybe this, okay? And I just want to take this inside part and make it darker. And as you can see, as I'm painting it, it starts kind of making it darker. And I want the inside part to be darker. So again, it's not just painting with a color, but it's actually painting with layers, all the different layers of this material. Okay, same thing with the nostrils. Let's just kind of paint that in, and maybe the inside of the mouth here a little bit, make it a tiny bit darker. Okay, and then I'm going to break up some of the symmetry here in the coloring. Sculpture is not symmetrical. You can see there's kind of a line here, but there isn't one, but there are some symmetrical aspects to it, so I can kind of break through that with maybe some of this paint. And I'm going to try and pick even a darker color if I can. Let's see, maybe, here we go. Oh, it didn't pick it for some reason. All right, let's see. See if I just manually, here we go. I think that's a bit too dark. Maybe saturated, maybe somewhere around here. Here we go. It's kind of looking bloody, which I don't want it to really, but it's fine. And again, I don't want this guy to be a monster yet. Like, I haven't really decided his characteristics. Sometimes I start out with knowing what the character is and building out, and sometimes I just kind of see where it takes me. All right, so that's adding a little bit of gloss to it. Well, let's fight it back just a tiny bit. All right, let's see what it looks like with everything. All right, it's looking okay. I think I want to color this a little bit more. All right, I think that's pretty good. You know, there's only so much of it showing. But it's good to know. And again, I have eyes for him, but I don't know if I'm going to use them. I think this is good enough. All right, so let's kind of go and look at the two we have here and pick the one we want. So here's this one, the first one that I did before, which I kind of like more for some reason, but let's look at the one we just did now. And this is the one we just did. Okay, so this is the old one, and this is the new one. I don't know, I kind of like the old one more. All right, so I'm just going to delete this one that we just did, but I kind of wanted to show you all the way that I did it, just so you know. Whoa, All right, and so this is kind of that. All right, so let's move down to this piece right here. And which one is that one? Okay, so that's this piece over here, and I do want to color that. Let me look at the reference. Yeah, I do want to color it. So again, I'm just going to go to my library here, go to my custom ones, and I think this is the one that I want for it. So I'm just going to choose that, get, and continue. And I think I do have UVs for that, so it should just do it in real quick. Now, one of the things you want to do with this program is you want to save frequently. I don't know why it just did that. But let's just say new and edged. Okay, it's fine. All right. I thought it was doing something it's not supposed to be doing, but it's good. So now it's just going to do the painting, and it's just this piece right here that we're working on. Okay. Still good. I don't know why it's initializing ZBrush, but we'll just let it do its thing. So this is a pretty hefty plugin. I mean, I know it's a little bit pricey, but it's doing a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then I'm going to save after this. Okay, so this autosave here actually is the one ZBrush's own autosave. So that's okay. I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then after it's done with this, I will do another save of my own. Now you can see all the other materials have changed to be this material. Okay, so it's still doing its thing. Okay, compiling, file saved to disk successfully. So I guess it got interrupted by ZBrush's autosave. Hopefully that's not going to mess things up. I don't think, it doesn't look like it is. So we're good, we're good, we're good. All right. Okay, and now this is done. And I'll just solo it out to show you what it did. Oh, okay, so the UVs on this guy apparently are messed up. That's why it's all blocky like this. So I'm just going to, before I do this, I'm just going to drop a quick save. Now this is a quick save of ZTexturator, so it's going to save it as a ZTexturator quick save, not as a ZBrush quick save, right? So that's kind of the one thing that I was really not notified about. And I might do a tutorial on the ZTexturator, like from start to finish. I haven't decided if I have the time to do it yet, but if I do, I will do it because I think it would be useful for you guys. And it'll be an opportunity for me to do something while I'm looking for my next project. Okay, so all right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and do the Morph UV. And yeah, I don't know why this happens, but it's definitely not good. All right, so let's put polyframe on. I do have polyframes on this guy. I'm just going to re-UV it. It won't take long, so I'm just going to go to geometry, take it down to level 1, go to UV master. And unwrap it. And do I have symmetry on? I kind of should have it on. Yeah, I do. Okay, good. All right, now that's done. Let's go back up to 1. And I'm just going to repeat what I did one more time, and then the texture will be a lot better. All right, so here it is. And I want to get that. I want to continue. Right, and this again will not take too long, and we want to let's say replace, and let's do edged this time.
I couldn't find Let's Do This Time in your Apple Music library. You can ask me.
For some weird reason, when my calendar request comes up. Siri kicks in. Okay, this does not look right. Something is off. Okay, so what if I just do this one more time? Actually, let's check the UVs before we do any of that. All right, that's not bad. All right, let's do this one more time. Get, continue. Now, I hope I didn't do something that messed up anything else. And I'm just going to do a new one, edged again. And hopefully this will be correct. All right. Unfortunately, there's a lot of waiting for this, and I'll do as much of it as I can, and I'll do a lot of it off camera. All right, yeah, it's doing the same kind of crazy thing. Okay, this is a little bit, I don't know what's going on. This does not seem right. Okay, is there more to this part? Yeah, I don't know why it's deciding to do it this way, but I just want to unsolo this to make sure everything else looks okay. Yeah, everything else is fine. All right, I'm going to try this one more time, and instead of using, I'm going to try this material just for kicks. Continue. Let's see if it has the same problem. And I'm just going to, let's replace that material. And instead of doing edged, I'm going to do, let's say, curved this time. Let's see if that does a better job. Okay, this is already looking better. Yep. Okay, I think maybe that's the problem, is that I chose edged. Well, it says it's done, but this doesn't seem like it's the right thing. Okay, I don't know if, does it have a texture map? No. What if I assign a different material to this thing? So I'm just going to go to material here, and let me just choose, is that a flat shader, fast shader? No. Yeah, I don't know what the story is with this. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do this one, get, continue. If there's a problem with this part, I'll just go to something else, but let's see if it works this time around. I'm going to choose rounded this time. Yeah, might as well try it. Okay, well, something is strange with this piece, and I have a feeling I know what it is. Display properties, okay, double, no, that's right. Okay, so UV map. Yeah, the UVs keep getting warped. Okay, let's check and see the geometry if it's okay. Check mesh. All right, no, it's good. All right, so let's delete the UVs. I'm gonna just create UVs again. So delete UV, gone. Maybe there was an undo or something that happened, but not a problem. Just, I need to bring it down to level 1. And unwrap. Done. And then let's check the UVs just to make sure that it's okay. That's good. And let's put a texture on it just to make sure that's okay. Okay, looks good. All right, so now let's try this one more time. Choosing curved again. And I think this looks a little bit better already, but I might be speaking too soon. No. What the heck? All right, let's make sure the UVs are still okay. UVs are fine, but why is it not getting the thing? All right, well, I'm going to try this material. Let's see if this one works. And if it doesn't, then I think I'm going to reset ZTexturator. Sometimes that helps. Yeah, I don't know why it's making, let's just say replace, round it again, that's fine. It seems like it's doing some of the shading, but not all of it. Okay, yeah, something's wrong. Something's weird. Okay, so let's see. What if I just use one of their own? Not use mine, but use this one. See if it works with this. Last test of this one thing here. I don't know if there's any issues with the bandwidth and the internet or whatever because of the airline things this morning, but my viewership is a lot less today. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, even with theirs, it came out like this. Okay, so I think there's something weird with this, so I'm just going to close library here. I'm just going to reset Texturator. Yes. And see if that fixes it. I'll change my background, which I didn't want, but I can fix that. Gray. That's okay. We'll just leave it for its default here. And then let's go to library, custom, and let's do this one, get, continue. Let's see if this fixed it. Oh, the viewership is going up. But yeah, I think there's some weird stuff happening with the routers and whatnot on the internet. So, okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's get this to work this time, hopefully. And if not, I'll just save the thing, exit it, and reload it. See if that works. Right. No. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to another part. I just want to make sure that if this is happening everywhere, then that's not it's not this thing. And let me just go to like another material here. Let's see, matte cap white. Forget if this thing has UVs. I think it does. Nope. I'll just move on to some other part that does have them. Not that one, not that one. Let's move on to the teeth. I think the teeth already have paint on them. I'm not going to mess with that. Let's move on to another part further down. All right, so let's do this visor, but not the transparent one, the opaque one. Okay, so here's this. And let's see, I know this one does have UVs. I just want to check real quick. Yep. Okay. All right, and then let's just do this one, get, Continue. And if this doesn't work, then something's up with Z Texturator. I just need to restart it. Okay, so let's just replace. This is kind of more of an edged thing, so let's just do edged, and let's see what we get. Oh, this worked. Well, I shouldn't say it worked yet. Yeah, this worked. So something's weird with that other part. Okay, so this looks good. Let's bring everything else back. I'm just going to go to map cat white here. Just just to see it. Yeah, it looks fine. But yeah, I wonder what the deal was. Oh no, but this looks fine now too. Maybe there was a, oh, you know what? It was probably because the flat shader material was used. That's probably why. So this is fine too. So it's all good. Nothing is the problem. Okay, so let's do the coloring. I'll pick the darker color, and I'll pick the inside color, which is the lighter one. Okay, and I don't really want symmetry on here. Right. So here I'm just kind of eroding this edge. Let's see, I'm going to go pick all the way kind of lighter over here. I love how you can kind of beat it back and just kind of texture on and texture off. It's kind of similar to what you can do with Substance Painter, but you're in ZBrush. Again, I'm kind of taking a bit of a stretch here with lighting, and knowing that I can fix a lot of this lighting stuff in KeyShot. Kind of just accentuating the eyes here by saying that like maybe he scratched these parts in to make the eyes show. And I could move the light around here. Let's do that. I think there is a lighting thing here. Let's see if I move the right light around, what this will look like. There are facets to this, so I'm just accentuating those facets a bit. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, that one's done. Let's move the light back. All right, so that's good. Let's move on to the next part. Yeah, no, I think we're good. I saved a while back, so I'm still okay. All right, so this one right here, what part is that? Let's put that part up there. Now, is that the part that I did, or what part did I just do? that was giving us problems. Oh, there's the face. What was this one? I thought I did this part already. Oh well. Somehow didn't remember it. Okay, I'm going to turn this on. Nope, this is the transparent one. I'm going to turn the opaque one on. Okay, there it is. And yeah, for some reason this didn't take. Let's do it over. First of all, I'm just going to clear the material in it. Now the problem is I don't know where the flat shader is, but I can get it just by doing this. Okay, so this is kind of a problem here. This should not be replaced. This should be flat shader. I wonder if I can just go ahead and load it, load the material in. I think that might solve the problem. Okay, because I replaced the flat shader, which is not something I should have done. Load. Right, just find it. Oh, that's weird. The screen will come back. I don't know why it just blanked like that. Once I get the material. All right, so I'm going to go to Program Files, next on ZBrush. 2024. Materials, startup materials, and flat shader. Where are you? So not one you can load. Back up. No, it's weird. Huh. Okay. So somehow it overrode it, but I don't know if there's a way around this. I'll have to figure it out. I'm going to escape out of this. I'm not going to let it auto-save. Yeah, but what basically happened is that the flat shader, which is kind of the default shader of ZBrush, got overwritten by a material, and I inadvertently did that. So yeah, see, this one right here should be flat shader, and it is. However, it's got a different name. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just go to another material, just pick something else. I'll pick just this fast shader right here, and go to mRGB, no, just M, and color and fill object. Okay, so all right. Yeah, I wish there was a way to reset this. Maybe there is. Let's see, under material, and try see if this does it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what all these fast shaders are here, but I'm assuming it's some sort of a glitch. Not to worry, because I can just go to one of these guys, right, and then I'm just going to invoke this guy again, get, continue. All right. Just do a new material slot. I should always be doing new. And then let's just do rounded. Now the thing is, none of this really matters because I'm going to export maps, and then when I shoot the model to ZBrush, I'm just basically going to shoot it blank with nothing, no materials applied, and then just apply the materials manually. And I'll probably be doing that either next time or the time after. next week I'll probably be posing. So hopefully by next week I will have this done completely textured, so you guys don't have to sit through all this waiting. Yeah, something went funky with the materials. I don't know why, but I kind of know how to fix it. Right, there we go, there we go. Okay, yep, it worked this time. Just going to solo it out. There it is, and it is fine. Okay, I'm going to change the coloring a bit. Again, just pick this one. Okay, so I just have material here. I'm just going to go back to RGB. Right, let's pick the darker color. There we go. And you can see this part's like not really very polished, but it's a very small part, so it's fine. Just sure. And then, and this is kind of symmetrical, but doesn't matter. It's again a very small part, so. All right, so I think I resolved that problem that I was having. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part down the list, which is, where are we? On this one. Okay, then these guys over here, which I don't think have UVs, so we'll just skip them. Move on to this part, which has transparent. We don't care about it. Now this part right here is also transparent. We don't care about that. We did the visors. We don't need to do the neon rings inside or this neon thing or the light on the head. So we're down to the teeth. All right, so with the teeth, they've got color on them, but I think I want to duplicate this and try and see what I can get if I do apply one of these materials to it. And I know that it does have UVs. Okay, so I'm just going to go to flesh and rotten flesh, blooded skin, flesh nasty. I love these names. Flesh vein, skins, what's this one? Skin scales, skin venom, skin rough. Let's try this burnt skin again. Get, continue, and I just want to see what this looks like. It's just a curiosity at this point. Right, and I'm going to put it in a new thing, and let's say curved. I'm just really curious what this is going to produce. It might be something really cool, or it might be horrible, but I've made a duplicate, so if it is horrible, I'll just move on. But it might be something so cool that it'll be worth it. Hi, Lialgo. How's it going? Hi, back at you. All right. Yeah, still the number of people is not as much as it was last week. So I'm assuming it's all the internet problems and the stuff caused by the cloud service issue. Hopefully we'll be back to normal by the weekend. But again, this will be saved so you can watch it. Yeah, they said a lot of broadcast things were down, so I'm assuming it probably has to do with this somehow. All right, I'm done with the first cup of tea. All right, so this is kind of taking a while. I don't know why. Wow, these teeth have a lot of 49 million points, that's why. Wow, this is kind of looking interesting. Is it done? I wonder what it's going to come up with. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, see, I knew I wanted to try this because I thought it would be an interesting result. And it is. And not only because of what it did, but what I can do with it. So I'm going to pick this color, and that's going to be the color of the teeth. And I'm going to pick this color. It's going to be the color of the gums. All right, so let's see here. And the teeth aren't symmetrical, so that's why I'm not painting with symmetry. But I just want to get this kind of bony color on first. And then after I'm done with this, I'm going to do the thing where I'm going to adjust the colors as well. So I don't really care about the inside as much, which looks nasty. How would you like to be a dentist kind of dealing with this? Do you floss? No. Okay. So there's that. And then this outer part can be this kind of color. And again, this is just kind of an experiment that I'm going with, hoping to see what I can get out of it. Nope, that's not what I want. I want this dark color, whatever this is, over here. Yep. All right. And then, all right, so that's good. Wow, that looks nasty. Kind of knew I'd be getting something interesting. That's why I wanted to try it out. Okay, I'm just going to get in these nooks and crannies a bit. Remember, kids, brush and floss. All right. Okay, so right. And now I don't like this color exactly the way it is, so I'm going to mess around with it a little bit. So for that, I will again go to painting, and I will go to adjust and texture. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Escape, adjust, paint, 4K. Just going 4K with everything. This is going to be one heavy scene once I'm done with it. Okay, so let's just dumb down the saturation a bit. It'd be nice if I could preview it over here, but I can't. It's about here. Let's just shift the hue a bit. Let's up the red intensity. And let's bring down the red contrast. The green contrast and the blue contrast. All right, let's see what that gives us. Yeah, look at that. All right, let's see what that looks like. Right. So I'll turn off the visor. Whoa, yeah. Good. It kind of matches the skull. It's good. It's much better than what I had before. I mean, look at how cool this looks. All right. Let's move on to the next piece, which is this helmet interior. Now for this guy, I wanted to do a different material, so I might need to create a material. So I might go off of what I have, something I have, but I might change it around. All right, so let's go to my library, go to my custom here, and let's try this one. Get, and continue. And let's create a new one, rounded. Yeah, the teeth look much, much better. I still don't want this to be a bad guy, but he's looking scarier and scarier every time I work with him. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this floppy disk thing. Sorry, guys. But again, I'd rather, use this than manually do it. All right, there's the inside helmet part. There's the weathering. Now, most of this doesn't show. I could probably get rid of most of it. Save room on geometry, but it's good for now. Oh, yeah, nice edging there. And whatever this is, it is processor intensive. I can hear the fans kicking in my computer for it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Diago, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And here we go. Let's look at it solo. There it is. Oh, actually, this is exactly kind of what I wanted it to be like. Pretty neat. Okay, and there it is. Okay, I might need to do a little bit of painting. I like what's going on with the edges. It kind of brings it out. And the only thing I want to do is I want this bottom part to show a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. Pick the lighter color to paint with and the darker color to beat it back. Okay, so I don't want this to be as dark over here, so I'm just going to make it lighter. Let's see if that makes it show up more. Yep. I know when I get to the mouse, I've got a pen display. Use the pen display. All right. Okay, so here I'm just kind of highlighting the borders here with the other objects that are around, just because I don't know if it knows that those are there. Okay, just lighten this up a bit more. All right, the level of detail is just insane of what I'm getting right here. It's like I've always dreamed of working like this, and now I am. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, let's move on to the next part, which is this part right here, which is this inside part of the helmet. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with it. Let's just make sure it's got UVs. Solo, we're doing this piece. And let's go to UV map, morph UV. Oh yeah, it's got the funky UVs, so delete UVs. And let's bring it down to, I don't know why that happens. Like, I don't know what causes that, but the solution is not that hard. Okay, let's just unwrap it again. Bump up the subdivision levels, check the UVs, morph, yep, good. Get back to it. Doing the butterfly dance here, and then we'll just do this one. Get, continue. Now another thing that this does that's pretty cool is that it does a thing where it gives everything its own material map, and I didn't do that, but I can. I don't think I need it though. And for this, I'm going to pick edged. . 'd. 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 'd Royal Library of God is saying it's amazing. Thank you for that. All right. I think this, if I were to redo this like as a tutorial, I'd probably cut out these parts that it's using. But you can always see what's going on up here, and hopefully that's visible. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's right underneath the ZBrush Live logo. All right, here we go. And it should be done here in minutes. Okay, compiling. And there it is. I should do a quick save after this is done, just because. Oh, so this kind of did minimal paint work for it, but it's fine. Still have the colors from the previous piece, so I can do a little bit of painting on my own. I'm going to turn symmetry off for this, and erase, and then just kind of want the color to be darker. So here I'm just going to kind of paint it all dark. So I'm kind of doing its work for it. Somehow, gave more importance to the outside part, but not the inside part. And then going to manually kind of make the edges a little bit lighter. And this piece over here is going to be glass, so whatever is underneath it is going to show. So I should give it a little bit of attention. Okay. Looking good, looking good. All right, and that is done. And I kind of like the contrast of this thing to the dark black of the helmet. All right, so that's that. Let's move on to the next piece. No, I UV'd it. I do use UV Master. If you watch the previous, so this is episode 21. If you watch the previous episodes, you'll see me UVing them. So I do UV them using the UV Master thing. But the good news is that the program, this thing, has an ability here to do Pro UV Map, which does kind of a triplanar-like mapping. And it's actually not bad. So if you have a part, if I turn it on, it turns it on for everything for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if you can do it per tool. I'm trying to figure that out. But it does do a good job. I did try it earlier. All right, let's move on to this part right here. And what's that part? That's this part on the inside that is holding this piece. And I don't know why this thing is this weird color. Okay, so let's do this one. And I don't know if I did this one before or not, or it doesn't matter. I'll just do it again. Let's go to custom, and where is this thing? I think this could be the darker color as well. Right, so this guy, maybe this is rubber. Let's see. Would it work as rubber? It will. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it this rubber. And oh, this thing doesn't have UVs? What? So see here, it kind of says enable a Pro UV. If I do that, then it just will do it. And you can do these two UV options as well. But I'm going to do neither, but I thought this thing had UVs. It doesn't? Let's check. UV map. Nope. What about polygroups? Does it have polygroups? No polygroups. All right, well, what if I, well, I guess this would be a good chance to do something, to show you me UVing something. So I'll do it this way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to polygroup it. So I am going to go to a Z modeler, and let's drop this down to its lowest subdivision level, which it is at already. And let's go ahead and say polygroup facing, let's see, in front. Let's try that. Right. I don't know why it's got this weird material applied to it. Let's just apply a sane material to it. Turn Z add off. And I'm just going to fill it with, I don't know, is there basic material here somewhere? Basic material. I'll just choose one of these fast shaders. Okay, and color fill object. Okay, that makes it better. And then let's go to turn this off. And so what I want to do here is I want to make sure, yeah, it's right. Let's just pick one polygroup here, and then polygroup in front and polygroup now island, now front facing front all. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that did it, and I just need to kind of get these little islands here. Polygroup island, where are you? Polygroup island, okay, and I want to make sure I'm not adding any edges. Right, oh. Polygroup island, where are you? Here you are. Okay, so I'm just basically polygrouping these things because I want it to be part of a UV shell, like so and like so. And then I might just do some individual polygons, like this one. And by the way, there is a way to do this with a brush also, which you can say brush radius, and this works actually pretty good. Let me do the thing where I don't do nothing on the point 2 because I don't want to move anything. So with brush radius, I can just kind of do this as well, which basically I'm just kind of creating where I want my UV seams to be. Okay, and looks like there's a, I guess we could probably just do all this. There's one. So basically, you know, whatever's colored pink will be its own shell. All right, and then somehow it got to the back over here. I don't know how, probably because this is thin. And I'm just going to pick up this color. No, didn't do it. And remove the back. Oh, see, it's going through. All right, so I need to turn back face mask on. And I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'll try it. Brush, auto masking, back face mask. Where are you? Back face mask. Okay, let's see if this works now. Nope, doesn't work. Okay, so let me just turn that back off so I don't forget it. And what I'll have to do is just manually do this one by one, which is not that big of a deal. I can do polygroup island probably. Polygroup island. Where are you? Oh, no, polygroup island. There. Okay, that did it. All right, so now basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the UVs, but I'm going to do them based on, I want to do these top parts too. Polygroup, single poly, and just do these few ones over here. It's just a way for me of cutting seams basically by doing polygroups. Right, and then this one here. And what I don't want is kind of, there's a little problem here, you see it? So I think I can just connect these up. And I can continue to do this with the brush size. So this polygroup, brush radius, and just continue to do it this way. All right. I mean, again, I don't really need like some amazing UVs on this. I just need some UVs just so the thing can do its work. So I'm just kind of doing the best that I can. It is going to have some kind of rough edges over here, right? The only thing I don't want to do is like, I don't want to have this kind of thing where there's just like one thing on its own. And there's a way ZBrush can fix that. Oops. But I don't think I need to invoke that. Let me just take one more look around the perimeter. Okay. And one thing I can do here is if I want to, under, I think, edge loop here, what you could do is you can do edge loop. You can do group loops 0, but have a G polish. And let's see if that does it. Oh, yeah, I have multiple subdivision models. Okay, doesn't matter. This is good enough. Okay, so now I just will go into Z plugin and UV master and just make sure that I've got polygroups selected here and unwrap it. Okay, and then this is basically what I will get. And again, I mean, you know, for the most part, this is perfect for this specific reason. Again, I don't really, it's a small part, so I don't really care that much about it. But now that I've got UVs, I can go ahead and yeah, automatic is easier and faster, you're right, but this doesn't really take that long, and I have kind of better control over what's going on. All right, so now that I have UVs on this guy, I can just go ahead and do the rubber thing and say get, continue. Let's create a new material for it. And let's try curved. I should turn polyframe off, but doesn't matter for now. By the way, you know, I should have tried to see if there was an edge loop that went around the outside. That would have made my life easier. But again, I think this is good for you guys to see what's going on. All right, somebody's posting URLs. Not a good idea to do that. Okay. All right, let's turn polyframe off as soon as this comes back, and we'll see what's going on. Yeah, don't go to the best viewers post that this person on Twitch put on. I need to figure out how to kick people. Maybe I'll try to do that while this is thinking. I think it's a bot. I don't even see him as a... I think he just jumped on, did that, and left. It's unbelievable how, even with the most amazing technology that we come up with, people will do stupid, nefarious stuff. All right, so this came out really nice. This is exactly the way I wanted it. With those quick UVs, it's fine. And again, it's pretty much hidden away part, but it'll show up kind of if I do a zoom in on that area. Okay, and then let me jump to a different material here. Let's jump to green metallic. Okay, so this is kind of coming along nicely. I'll just go to the next subtool. By the way, I think this would be a good time to drop a quick save just for kicks. And then we'll just kind of continue on with some of the other pieces. It is taking a while for each one, but it's really not that bad. And I haven't really had to do much work with the material itself. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to move on down to, okay, which one is that? We did that one, we did this one, and now these are the helmet vents. Solo, and I don't think these have UVs at all. I think they're just a material, but let me check. If they do, it'll be nice to UV them. If not, I think I'll just leave them be. Oh no, they do have UVs. Okay, excellent. Let's do a material for them, solo, and this I could use a metal material for them. What's this one? Metal dirt. I think there's one kind of at the end here that'll do perfectly for that. All right, get, continue. We're working on these pieces right here. Oh, there's another guy. So I need to notify the Pixologic people that the Maxon people that this is happening. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to just kind of remove chat items. Yeah, these people are not even on. Like, they just jump on and, you know, take a dump and leave. Actually, do something here. From OBS chat. See if there's a way to do it. Okay. How to get I guess it's not a very simple thing to do. No worries. Okay, so oh, okay, not a problem. I can just subdivide this once. Okay, and now it'll work. This needs to have a subdivision level on it. And there's some I don't have subdivisions on, that being one of them. I can probably reduce the size of that. I'll probably reduce the size of this by retoping it. But it's fine. Again, I don't really care because I'm going to load this into Keyshot, and Keyshot will take this. This thing is 50 million polygons. Keyshot will take it, no problem. I've put a 135 million poly model into Keyshot, and it didn't even blink twice about it. Okay. Oh, I can add it to, all right, here we go. This is how you remove them. Gone. Yes. I figured it out. Solving two problems simultaneously here. All right, there it is. There's that. There's that. This is going to look pretty cool once it's done. All right. Yeah, the sloth picture. That's funny. Well, you know, again, if I were to do this manually, it will take a lot longer. So I won't do the entire model on the stream. I'll just do this one, but at least you guys can see kind of the problems that I'm encountering and what I'm doing. And that looks exactly the way I wanted it to. All right, good, good, good. Let's move on to the next one. This is the stuff that's around it. Does it have UVs? I think it does as well. Yep, it does. Let's make sure. Yep, there they are. Good. And this does not have subdivision levels, but I wonder if it has, if I can do reconstruct subdiv. No. Okay, add one subdivision level, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to it that I did to the parts underneath it. So I am going to get continue, but I'm going to modify this so it's not exactly the same, because these are, I want these to be separate parts, and with that you can kind of see me play around with the shader. Okay, we'll do a new material for it, and we'll do curved as well, or yeah. I'm not going to do these screws because they're not going to be big, but these parts are big parts, and so I want them to actually have the material applied to them. All right. Okay, here we go. Compiling, and there it is. Oh. I'm kind of playing whack-a-mole with all these guys popping in with their viewers or whatever. Right, my computer fan just kicked in, so it means it's almost done. And I could probably retopo these and have them be less geometry, but it's fine. Okay, and there they are. All right, so now if I solo these out, you can see that they have the same kind of characteristics as the one above them, and I don't want it to be that way, so I need to modify this shader for it. And the way that that's done is, again, you just go to shading, and let's go to a different one here. Here's the diffuse. Okay, so this color needs to be darker. Maybe even darker than that. Okay. All right. So now we can see that the outside part is a little bit darker. I could probably even go darker than that as well. So I'm going to go to shader 3. Oh, and the other thing I figured out by talking to the developer is that it doesn't matter what shader it is. You just basically have to judge them by their color. So I'm just going to make this darker like that. And maybe if I give it a little bit more, like a little bit more of this. Like that. Okay. I'll do that right now. And yeah, so I think this is kind of a metallic thing here. You can even go for like a red or something like that, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, and that's that part. That's this part. Okay, this part is the one that needs to be darker. Okay, like that. Right. Let's pop in more of the diffuse on this, or no less, maybe. A bit more specular. And a little bit more reflectivity. Okay, so I'm just basically playing around with the and the exponent of this to see less or more. That's good. And then which one's the one on top? Ooh. Okay, so this one, increase its, see, this kind of makes it more metallic. Here we go. This is giving me exactly what I want. Solo. Here we go. That's what I want right there. Bam, done. So all four of these are done for me automatically. Again, it does take a little bit of time to compile and compute, but then on the other hand, once the result is done, it's great. These are lenses. I don't need to color them. All right, so there's this part in the back, and that's just going to be, I wonder if this should be rubber, or let's try and see what it looks like if it's rubber. Okay, so library, custom. Let's pick my rubber thing here, get, continue, and new. And let's go for curved again. So while we're waiting for this, if you guys have any questions in the chat, now's a good time to ask. We're kind of got about half an hour left. So yeah. Again, I think, you know, the time this is taking seems to be a lot, but on the flip side, it is definitely doing a lot of work in the background. Right, here we go. It's doing the shading, finding the edges. And it's funny how all these masks are added and you can save the masks. It's pretty amazing what of this you can save out. Now probably, you know, this works better with, you know, if you have a game type model where it's all consolidated, it works faster. But here we go. Again, the level of detail is unbelievable. All right, that works right out of the box. I don't really need to do anything for it. Okay, I'm just going to pick another material here. Hey, red wax, how about that? All right, and let's just kind of take a look. So the helmet is kind of slowly but surely getting done. Let's pick something other than red wax. I hate red wax. Okay, and then let's just move down to this chin piece right here. Solo that out, okay. And that, I could also probably do that with this rubber material as well. Get, continue, new, let's do curved. So basically, you know, I could be probably doing something else while I'm doing this. So I'll probably like, could be working on something else and then just kind of go in and do each one of these on its own. And while it's doing this thinking part, be doing something else. But for the stream, I think it's just important to kind of show this part here. And before I end this, I'll also show you guys what I can do to get this stuff out of here as maps and then load it into Keyshot. And I won't, you know, belabor loading all these stuff into Keyshot as well. But I think the first thing we'll do is pose the model. And then after we're done with that, we will all right, here we go. And then we'll load it into Keyshot and do a render. And I think for this, I'm not going to do a big diorama. I'm just going to maybe do like a little thing in the bottom, like a round thing, a stand or whatever, and then just put the guy on there. Maybe some grass or something on the bottom. There is no way to extract the entire project with one button, unfortunately. There's a lot of manual stuff that needs to be done. But I did talk to the developer about that and how it would be useful if there was. So, But the problem is, extract it to what? Blender probably would be the best choice. Because a lot of people could do it right to Blender. But then, it'd be nice if there was like a Go Z thing where you just press one button and it just exported everything. But no, everything has to be done manually. All right, so there's that. And I'm going to choose a different material here so I can kind of see what it did. It's kind of a weird way that it did it. And I don't know why it did it this way. And I don't really like it. Does this thing have UVs? Are the UVs messed up on it as well? They sure are. This adventure with the messed up UVs continues. All right, but I do have polygroups on this guy, so re-UVing it is not going to be an issue. Let me turn this off on it. Just check it. Oops, not you. You. Yeah, so UVing this is not going to be an issue at all. So I'm just going to drop it down. Subdivision, yeah, I don't know why the UVs got messed up. Like, I have no clue as to why that happened. And it happened to quite a few of these objects as well. So, something to figure out with the Maxon folks. Unwrap. Okay, there it is. And then bump this up and turn polyframe off. And let's do this one more time. Yeah, extracting the project with one button would be nice. It definitely would be. See, these are the kinds of things like if you work somewhere, and this type of work is being done again and again and again, they'll put developers on it. They'll create a kind of a pipeline component that will do that work. I've worked at so many companies where they have their own pipeline, and when there's a new version of the software, it breaks the pipeline. So that's why a lot of companies stay on older versions of software. And yeah, it's kind of a nightmare, actually. It is kind of a nightmare to have all these different versions of software, and all the stuff that's in the pipeline doesn't work with previous versions and whatnot. So there's got to be a lot of testing that needs to get done for it to kind of move on to the next thing. All right, so this worked, but there's this weird thing over here. What is going on there? Let's take a quick look at the UVs. The UV map is fine, but what's going on over here? All right, well, I'm going to try a different kind of mapping with it, just for kicks. Get, continue. And I'm going to do a replace on this one, and instead of doing curved, I'm going to do rounded. Let's see if that makes it better. But yeah, most of it is fine. It's just this one area kind of. Okay, I think that problem is not there anymore. No, it is. What's this about? I wonder if it has to do with the rubber. Well, I can always paint it out. I don't know why I just didn't do that. Yeah, this thing needs a simpler. I mean, the interface isn't that bad, but again, when you're talking about speed, I think it's pretty snappy with what it's doing. It's doing a lot of stuff. Um, and it would be nice if you could do this with the entire model in one shot at the beginning. But, you know, again, doing this work is a... you know, I think that's kind of why people like the idea of AI, because they're like, you know, it just does all that automatically for it. I don't know why Z-Add is on, and I don't know. Okay, it's because I'm on the move drive. Just turn that back on. BSU standard brush. Oh. Where's the standard brush? Where are you? There you are. Okay, and yeah, so it should work. Yeah, see, I mean, if I don't know why I didn't do that before, but it's easy enough to fix just by painting it. For some reason, it just figured, the calculation figured out that area to be something else. Okay. And again, I'm using mirroring on this, but that's fine. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you know, the ideal thing would be to just type something in and have it work, but again, it's go back to this piece right here and do some more painting, so you can jump back and forth between the different pieces and continue to... what I want to do here is I want to add more of this dark stuff in the bottom. So kind of, you know, it's not like a clean transition between this part and that one. But yeah. Thing is, you can, you know, I mean, I'm inspired by this image right here. This is kind of what's driving what I'm working on. And this was generated with AI. But the problem is, somebody probably just typed in, you know, I don't know what they typed in, but whatever they typed in, they got this. And this is a great image, but you can't turn it around, you can't use it in the game, you can't do anything with it. So in order to be able to get something where it is usable, you have to go through a process and just use that as inspiration and move forward with what you're doing. Okay, so here we go. Where are we? Right, we did that. We did this chin part, chin strap. Let's move down. Helmet tubes. Okay, so this is these parts right here, and I don't think these guys have UVs. I think this is from a kit bash kit. So I'm just going to move past these ones to this piece right here, which is this nose, kind of this bridge over here. I don't know if this has UVs or not. I think it does, but let's check. Morph UV, it does, but it's these messed up UVs. I wonder if just every UV is messed up from this point forward. I'll probably check that next time I look into it. But again, this is not that big of a deal. Right, let's just bump this up. Okay, and I think I'm going to do rubber with this guy as well. Get, continue. Top G, thank you. There is a pie menu. Actually, I use the Wacom menu, and I don't know why it's not popping up on this screen. I think I need to edit it so that it does. But I guess I could just drag it over. I use this Wacom pie menu that comes up, and I'll have 8 brushes on it. But again, I just made that again for the display I'm using. But yeah, but it's not everything else. But I know what you mean. I use the pie menus in Maya, and I use them in Blender, and it does help. But you know, I think we get a lot with these programs, so you know, we can always ask for new stuff, but it all depends on, you know, it's like ordering pizza for 500 people. You know, you can't get what everybody wants. you have to kind of find a common ground, and developers have to do their work. So I don't know. I started with computers when, you know, getting 16 colors was a big deal. I used to have a Spectrum computer, ZX Spectrum, and that had, I think, 16 colors, but then you can kind of mix them to get more. I think you got 256, and that was a big deal. So, I mean, considering in my lifetime we've gone from that to being able to do this, I can't complain. But, you know, if you're born now, then this is what you're starting with. So yeah, all right. So this is done, looking good. One shot. Don't need to do anything else to it. All right. This is looking pretty badass, I must say. My cat just let out a sigh. It's so funny. All right, what's this piece right here? Solo. Okay, so these are these things, I think, in the back. And do they have UVs? I think they do. And they're messed up. What happened to all of my UVs? That is so weird. Delete UV. I should write a script that does this whole process that I'm doing in one shot, which should be easy enough to do. Unwrap. Build that up. Now, what do I want these to be? I want these to be rubber as well. That one get continue. And let's do rounded for these guy. And let it do its thing. So I'm basically just going to do this for every single part that kind of isn't going to just have a material applied to it. And then, let's see, we're getting to 47. So I think this is the last part I'll do this way. And then I'll show you guys how, how do you pronounce GIF? Good question. I don't know. I mean, doesn't matter. GIF, 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 GIF. And I know it's a controversial thing, but who cares? I think if you say either, people know what it is. I don't know if you say GIF and somebody's like, well, what is that? And I don't know if you say GIF, people are like, oh, GIF, what? You know. But then I know some people are super religious about like what is the right way to say it. I personally don't care. I can tell what it is. I don't even know if that graphical format, I mean, I basically mostly use PNG or TIFF files, PSD files. I don't use any of the other things anymore. JPEGs, of course. And then all the other new kind of JPEG, WebP, and all that other new stupid stuff that's coming out. Okay, so that came out looking okay. I might have to do some manual painting on it, which is not a big deal. Is symmetry on? Yep. Okay, good. Right, so just kind of make that middle part a little bit more. And there's very little of this that shows. I could, again, delete the back parts if I need to. And I'm going to pick this. Lighter color. And weather this part. Kind of want the edges to be darker. Do that. All right, and I'm basically here painting specular on here, but I'm just doing it in real time. Okay, so this is kind of good enough for what I want here. So I guess the next thing to do is just kind of give you an idea of how to export these things. So now that I'm done with, this top part of the guy, I'm going to go back to, like, let's say Chrome B here. I'm going to go back to just like pick a neutral material. So now what I do is I go to exporter and I can just do a texture export. So I go to that. And here are all the different things I will export. So I'll probably export shaded, which basically is the color, right? And probably the reflection, which basically will be the spec. I could do a normal or a bump if I want to, because some of these materials have relief. And I could export an AO, I can export an edge, curve, cavity. I can export all these things if I want to have them as masks or whatever. So you do that, and then you just basically export it, right? So once you check all the stuff, you can, where is it? And you can flip it if it needs to be flipped, but then you just basically click on this button and it'll export it for you. And you can choose your map size, so I'm probably going to do 4K for all these. And yeah, and you can export the ID map if you have it, and all the stuff gets exported. So I'm probably going to export the color and the reflect, and I'm probably going to also export the bump map. Yeah, because I don't really have displacement or vector displacement. I don't really have a matte cap. I don't want to export the matte cap, but yeah, I'll just basically export these things. And then just in KeyShot, I'll just connect them, and I'll show you how to do a few of those. But hopefully at some point I'll just have this model posed in KeyShot with all these materials applied. All right, so I think that's kind of all I'm going to do. So yeah, if you go for graphics interchange format, then it is G. So then it's GIF. But then graphics is pronounced G, so it's GIF. So it's both. Interesting question. Okay, so basically, yeah, that's the process. You just kind of, just basically will have to go through all the different parts I want weathered, and I kind of did this pack over here. And I'll do this other one, and basically at some point I will have a metal, I will have a object that has all these parts textured this way, and then I'll just load it into KeyShot and just map the different materials to that. I'll just basically have a basic shader and then map all these things to it. So I'll be kind of experimenting and playing around with that, but now I know how to use the texturator. I know how to do all the different things in here. One more kind of tool under my tool belt. And again, if I need to do this a lot, I would probably consolidate some of these parts, so I can just do one shot and they'll all be on the same UV or whatever. But in this case, they're not, so I just kind of am doing it the way that it is. I've got a few more minutes here. I think I'm going to do one more part, which is these eyebrows here. And let's just check the UVs, make sure they're good. They seem to be okay. And I'll just do these ones, and then we'll call it a night. So I showed you how to do the exporter. Well, we'll go through that later. But here I'm just going to go into my library again, go into custom. And I've shown how to make these custom things before, so they're pretty easy to do. You just mess around with the existing shaders to get what you want. So continue. And let's do a new one. And curved is good. And let it do its thing. So again, if we do close-ups of this guy, we'll have some really good results. I think today's biggest nice surprise was how cool the teeth look. All right, so again, if you have last questions, ask. We got 5 more minutes to go. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait a little bit longer. but I will wait until a little after 9, and then if there are no questions, we can end the stream. Again, sorry there was a lot of this blank screen with this disk going this time around, but that's kind of the price of using something automated versus manually painting each one of these. And it's basically, I'm not just doing the painting, it's also doing the edges and the materials and everything like that, which again takes a long time to do, even if you're doing it with Substance Painter. Speaking of which, I just bought the newest version of Substance Painter. It's on Steam, so if I need to take it into there and do some work with it there, I can. All right, so that's done. The helmet is looking pretty good. And let me see if I need to do some painting on this. I think I can do a little bit of edge painting. Let's see, do we have any of the clean edges? Yeah, we do. Let's pick this color. The lighter one. Go a bit lighter here. Right. I think I have symmetry on. I'm going to turn that off. Right, again, I'm using the mouse. I don't know why. Here we go. And maybe there's a big chunk of this paint that's kind of missing over here. That. I'm just going to give a little bit of an indicator that this is kind of maybe worn out in areas where there's stuff touching each other. Right. So usually when you're painting, you're just doing the color, but here you're doing the color and you're doing the specularity and you're doing a lot of other stuff. So here maybe there's a kind of a black part here like that. Here we go. All right, so that should do it for today, folks. How many projects have I made? Well, I mean, this is my, let's see, what season is this? This is season 10. So for Maxon, or used to be Pixlogic, but Maxon, I've done 10 different projects. So this is the 10th one. And so you can see them. I've done spaceship, mechs, all sorts of fun stuff. So you can go back and watch them. And the place to do that is on YouTube, and I'll bring all that up and show you in a minute here. But let me just find the window that I'm looking for here. Just give me 1 second, and I will show you all that stuff in a minute. I guess we need to let this thing do its auto-saving. This is weird. Just give me a second here. I'll find it again. Sorry for the kind of today was, I would say today's stream was kind of one of the slower ones I've had, but again, there weren't too many people watching it live. But Here we go. This is what I want. Okay, and let me find the YouTube channel we're looking for, and I'll go through and explain all this to you all. Okay, so if you go to ZBrush, the Max on ZBrush channel, if you go over here, right? And so if you go to live, you know, right now this is me live doing the work, but here's all the older ones. So you can kind of scroll down, and here's the one before. So that's me here. And if you just do a search for my name, I think if you just do Kermaco, I think they all have the Kermaco thing, it will isolate them. So this is this one. You know, here was this mech that we were doing. I was doing a car spinner for a while. I was doing this other kind of robot, which is just a bust. So there's quite a few, right? And you can go back and watch all these different projects that I've done. I kind of wish that they were in some sort of library, but this is the spaceship that we worked on. Yeah, so a whole bunch of different things. There was this other robot that we worked on. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of me going through time warp and watching all these things. Okay, so there's that. And a couple other things too is if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram under Kermaco, so at Kermaco or Kermaco. And you can see kind of some renders that I did of this thing I'm working on now, some other things as well. I have some photos of when I travel. I was in Japan recently, so I saw these two Gundams, life size, which are pretty amazing. And if you go to my link tree here, it basically gives you a link to all of my other resources. And my website shows my work, so you can go to my portfolio. So it says, you know, if you click on portfolio, you go to kermaco.com, which basically has all the kind of stuff I work on. And if you want to kind of see all my process from beginning to end, you can go to the Gnomon workshop, and I've got a workshop that's designing a pilot combat mech, and this basically is my entire process. So there's multiple chapters here. I start out in VR and go through all the different things that I do to get to a finished product, finished render. And I also have a Gumroad in which I have primitives that you can download for free. So the 17 core primitives you can get for free. And you can also get my UI colors if you like that for free as well. And I do have a paid for version of the primitives that has a few extra objects. So if you want to purchase that to get these objects, they're pretty useful. You can do that. It's for a nominal fee. And, you know, all my other stuff's in here too. My ArtStation, my YouTube, and all that good stuff. LinkedIn, and all that. I'm finishing up a project now, and I'm going to be looking for my next project. So if you are watching this and you want somebody like me for a project, let me know. I'm entertaining offers at this moment. So with that, I will bid you all a good evening or a good day or whatever part of day it is. And hope you guys have, I hope next week is a less crazy week than the week before. And happy ZBrushing, everybody.